The show is about to start with lots of stories about poo and a bit of heart. When it comes to Joanne, no, you won't find no faults. But if you mess with the bowl, you might get the Schultz. It's time for Mornin'. It's Mornin' with Bill and Joe. It's time for Mornin'. It's gonna be a heck of a show. It's Bill and Joe.
Hello and welcome to Mornin' with Bill and Joe. I'm Joe.
I'm California Bill.
Wow. For those who are only listening, Bill is currently sitting in front of palm trees and blue skies and sunshine and sunglasses.
And a really barky dog. If you can hear Sonny this much, I'm going to have to go outside. Sonny, can you hear him?
I can hear him. I might be able to do an effect on here to get rid of the background noise. So
I don't want you to have to do that, so I will go inside if he continues to do it. How are you?
I am good. It snowed yesterday in New York City, so a little different from your sunshiny warmth. You're in Palm Springs?
Yes, I am. Yes, very dry. The weather's never been better, just because of the time of the year it's been in. It's cold at night, perfect 70s during the daytime, not 120 like when I normally come. But yeah, it's been great. But it looks like things aren't all cold at your place. In fact, I see something spicy in the background as well as hot.
Hot and spicy mustard, perhaps? Yes, this episode of Mornin' is brought to you by Wober's Mustard, your go-to in mustard needs.
Yeah, fair, good enough. Pretty awesome, man. Sonny, stop it.
Yeah, we got a very nice care package delivered by your old buddy Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is a Wober, correct? He is of the Wober dynasty.
Chris Wober is the mustard prince of Ohio. Someday all of that will be his. And yeah, Wober's not only offers fine mustard products, but all types of sandwich sauces and a wonderful t-shirt that you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, the merch is great. I'm standing up now. This is from Mustard Fest 2024 in a nice, beautiful, like blue teal color.
You are a cutie. Look at that.
Yeah,
looks a little big
nice
for you, but shrink it.
I love the Wober's shirts. I wear them all the time. They're a great conversation piece. I'm thrilled to have another to add to my collection. There's also, we got some hats. We got a nice red chef's hat. I'll put up a picture of everything we got. I posted it on social media. Just delightful. It made my day so much better to receive that package.
Good. You deserve it? I ask with a question mark. Oh, God. And I'm getting distracted just because of how much better my area is than yours. But if you can see right behind me, that is a lemon tree. Can you imagine just coming out and just...
Wow. Bill, life is literally giving you lemons. What are you going to do?
Make urinade. But you just come out and just do this. You know, I mean, that's just, it's better here. I don't know what the fuck we're doing in New York.
Well... It's better there right now. You would maybe not be saying that when it's 120 degrees and your face is melting off.
Correct. And also, you know, there's still bad things going on only 2 hours away. But I gotta say, I would assume the real estate market's doing pretty good here for that reason. What have you been up to?
Just watching still a lot of the SAG-nominated films, trying to do my duty as a SAG-AFTRA voter, a union member.
Any excuse to say duty.
Before I place my votes for the SAG Awards, I'm trying to watch everything. Although we took a little detour last night from new films, and Douglas and I watched The Sound of Music.
Oh, boy.
Because he has an audition for it, I think for like the tour or some production, to play Max, the they call him Uncle Max. I don't know that they're related, but he tries to get them to become this musical act, and he's in charge of the festival. But Douglas and I realized we have not actually sat down and watched the film in decades, probably. So my takeaways, as a child, I really didn't understand the whole Nazi storyline. And Julie Andrews is a fucking gem.
Yeah.
We are so lucky to be alive when she's alive. Like, God, she is just the absolute best. So while it's not nominated for a SAG award, it's receiving one in my heart.
As if you had one. It's the opposite of an award. You know, he should compare notes with my nephew Teddy, who was last year in The Sound of Music.
Who did he
I'm
play?
sure he played one of the Von Trapp kids.
Oh, okay.
He's the burgeoning actor in the family. You might have to give him a talking to. But I found that the play is there's some different things in the play than in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the end, but also like it's very clear that Uncle Max is also Uncle Gay
Oh, really?
in the play. Yeah, I think a little bit in the movie, don't you think?
Or do you think that was just like creative license that the child in this production took? They were like, you know what? I have decided this character is gonna be a homosexual.
Oh no, not my nephew. Although I'd support him if that was the case. No, I mean the character that Douglas is going to play.
Yeah, I'm saying in the production you saw,
Oh,
maybe that child took artistic license and
That's what
made the character
that's
gay.
what threw me off. It was community theater. He was played by an adult.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
I
Yeah.
like to imagine an all-child community theater production.
No, they do. They absolutely do those as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's either or, depending on what the theater's going for. But all right, so wait, now, yeah, she's a gem. But the overall, yay or nay to the movie, it's very long.
It is very long, but shorter than The Brutalist, which I watched this
True.
season,
True.
and way more entertaining, more singing,
Yes.
less titties.
Boom.
But
Fun
no.
fact: Julie Andrew has done a nude scene.
I did know that. Of course, I already knew that. Of course, you already told me that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you like to just bastardize her entire career and sum it up into a tit shot.
Sorry, I'm pro the female body, you misogynist.
Speaking of misogyny,
Okay.
I don't know. How you are there for birthday shenanigans. How are the shenanigans going?
So this has been the best trip I've ever done here, and as you know, I've done a lot. Although most of the time I'm by myself and doing a little thing I like to call doggy sitting, which involves a lot of picking up of the poop. We've done a little bit of that here, but we've been everyone's been sharing that chore. Yes, we are here for our own Joshua McCarroll's birthday. He's been on Morning many times. What was his correspondent name again? It was something gay.
Was he our gay correspondent?
I think it was just that. Yeah, we weren't very creative at that period of time. Yeah, and so I am here with Lauren Savant, who is our wonderful host. Her, some say even funnier sister, although she's been making fun of me a lot, which I haven't liked the entire time. Although everyone else has been laughing at it. Her lovely husband, Chris. Both of them are wonderful teachers trying to mold our youth. Drew Lerner, who you've met, was here for a little bit. Brad Morris, maybe today. We'll see. I doubt it. But it's been a great time. We hung out with her friend Brooke last night and her ex Todd, who has built his own home up in the Yucatan area. He's very much that kind of guy. And we went to the Copper Room, which, Joe, you would absolutely love it. Sinatra Hideout was made to open up with the first airport they had, which is a little slip of an airport that only really private jets can come in. Just when they first got their first round of celebrities. But it's a time capsule to say 1955.
How about the prices? Are the prices 55?
Less so. Yeah, no, that's been a point of contention the entire time I'm here. It's been nice that people have been paying like they have, but again, it's rough being a charity case. But lots of places like that. As you know, it's the mid-century modern architecture capital of the world. In fact, we are missing mid-century modern week by one. It's next week, where people, believe it or not, this is so something you'd do if you had one of these homes. They allow people to enter their homes and check it out on walking tours. Again, something you would totally be comfortable with and do if you had a home like this.
Well, I mean, God, the voyeur in me is like, I want to go on those tours.
Yes.
I want to see into these people's
them.
homes.
Oh, no, I'm saying that you would be even more interested in hosting a tour like that and having them come into your home. Were you an owner of a home like this? Yeah, that just seems to me like people just kind of handling and examining your things. That just seems like right up your alley.
I would have red velvet rope roping off everything.
How do you not already? I guess it's just a space issue, but yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, it is a different world out there.
Yeah, but it's really cool. I'll bring this home for you. Although I don't know if it's fully cooked yet. Um, and yeah, it's been a great time. We went on dune buggies yesterday. I got some video of that. That's pretty good.
What are those? What does that mean?
2 wheels in the front, 2 wheels in the back. Nothing really much more than handlebars. There's gear switching, which was tricky. And you just jump over dunes of sand. They've got tires on the base of it, but a place where you can do donuts and almost go sideways. You're going so quickly, and it was that it's honestly like you're on a roller coaster but in sand. If you can get as far up to the hill as possible without stalling, but it was really fun.
That seems dangerous.
You seem dangerous. What have you been up to? I know you had some plans too.
Did I? I'm just finally healthy again. God, January was
I can hear it in your voice.
Long and filled with just 2 head colds and a tweaked back and like just pain and frustration.
Yes.
So I'm happy now that come February, I'm now like feeling good. I'll be going back to the gym.
Isn't the gym part of the problem? Isn't that how you tweaked your back to begin with?
No, well, now I'm being more mindful. But Bill, bad news. Well, you're going to be coming back to 6 more weeks of winter because Puxatawny Phil saw his shadow.
I hate that motherfucker. I was so happy when Mayor Bloomberg killed that one. Or was it the other? Which mayor was it? Remember there was one that dropped. Oh, but it wasn't Puxatawny. It was our version of Puxatawny.
Yeah.
But he killed a gopher.
I think it was Bloomberg, and it jumped out of his hands, allegedly.
Who knew those little dirt bags were so fragile? From what I recall, the jump was not that bad, but he like injured something and died within 2 days. And if that, I wonder what the over under was for a winter was that year. I wonder if he cursed us for having snow until June.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
It did get me thinking, though. Like, it is an actual holiday on the calendar. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It's like
Groundhog Day. Like, really? That is what? We can get rid of it, right? Like, we can all just collectively decide to stop, right?
I mean, Boxing Day, we have that on the calendar too, even though it's exclusively British. I still don't even get it. There's a lot of weird things on the calendar, but yeah, I blame Big Groundhog. They've got a great lobbyist in DC, and they've been just sort of shilling their weak ass weather predictions for centuries now, and we buy into it. But yeah, no, you're right. That one we could probably axe. But good luck fighting Big Groundhog.
Yeah, I don't even know how to start. I should probably contact PETA. I'm sure they have something to say about it.
I love that you finally have sort of a project. This is great. Destroy Groundhog Day.
Actually, speaking of a project, I have been constructing my costume.
Oh, I thought you were going to show me your tiara finally.
No, I've been constructing my costume for New Orleans. Should I go get it? All right, so for Mardi Gras, the people who really get into it like to make their own costumes, and it's like crafting is really like valued. So I decided
I love it when you use your words.
I decided that I wanted to be a glass of champagne.
Of course.
And incorporate like bubbles and whatever. So first of all, this is my headpiece.
Wow. Did you make that?
I made this. Wow. Okay. So for those who are only listening, sucks to be you, but yeah. I have a headband with a little disc on top, and there's a little champagne bottle and bubbles and pearls that are bubbles. And then there's some pipe cleaners that is the champagne coming out of the top.
I'm oddly impressed. How
and then
the
I
hell
am
did you
wearing
do that?
A jacket that has bubbles down the side. And I've been sewing it on and like
I think I know that jacket. Yeah, I'm oddly impressed. I can't believe you did that.
Was there any... Again, fun employed. I have time.
Joe, did TikTok help you? Be honest.
Not TikTok, but Pinterest. I got some ideas from there. But let me tell you, hot glue guns can do a hell of a lot.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about injuries.
Well, that too. Yeah. I did accidentally touch and I was like, damn, that's hot. But here's the issue, Bill. I made that. It's beautiful. It's stunning. How am I going to travel with this?
I was
What
just
am I
thinking
going
about
to
that.
do?
I was just you need some type of shopping bag. It's got to be carry-on, so you got to be careful with that. But you need I don't even like a plastic bag. It's still going to get crushed.
I know.
Um,
I think I'm going to, check everything else and then just have a bag with this, I guess.
it would probably be slightly expensive. I just had an amazing idea.
Ship it? No,
Ship it.
refuse.
Why?
No. It's going to be so expensive. And like, I'll just bring my hot glue gun with me, I guess, and fix it up there if something falls off.
You'd rather bring your hot glue gun than ship that
I
monstrosity.
can travel with a hot glue gun, right?
I don't know if you can. I mean, at this
Imagine
point,
if
I
they
don't think
ask me, do you have any weapons? And I'm like, well, what do you mean by that?
I have a fashion weapon. Well, that's gonna be fun. So, and it's just the headwear and the coat.
And then I have a pair of sequin pants. Yeah, it's going to be really great. That's for
I'm
Mardi Gras.
impressed.
The day that we're going to a big ball, like a party, Douglas and I are renting costumes. We spoke to a costume shop in New Orleans. We are renting our costumes. We're doing Rococo Baroque style. So I'm going to wear like a little Marie Antoinette getup. Douglas is going to be in the men's version. We're going to paint our faces white and do the whole thing.
Oh, I can picture exactly
The
the
white
era that
wigs,
you're going for. Yeah. That in and of itself sounds expensive.
Honestly, compared to purchasing costumes on Amazon, it was like about the same, and then we don't have to pack all that stuff and bring it. So I
Smart
think
idea.
renting it is good. But yeah, we're going at the end of the month, so like finally it's here. We had booked this trip like 8 months ago, so I'm getting excited. And I love crafting, so
I mean, two great tastes that taste great together. I'm already starting to get very jealous, but especially since I'm about to go home. Oof. But yeah, that sounds fun. Again, you did it right. You guys are going to be in sort of like constricted areas away from the riffraff. But as I told you, I love New Orleans, and you could pay me to go to Mardi Gras. Crowds.
yeah. I mean, so my friends who did it, we just saw them over the weekend and they were sort of sharing their pictures from the last time and chatting about it. And they do make it sound really fun. Like on Mardi Gras, there's this one crew, I think they're called like Skull and Bones. I'm probably getting that wrong.
Ooh.
But they kind of kick off the day and they go to like homes in this one area and like knock on doors and wake people up, and they kind of are dressed like skull and death or whatever. And so that gets people out of their homes, and then you go around. And my friend said there are people who just like have booze that they're giving away. They'll invite you up into their homes. It's just like crazy that a community, everyone stops everything to celebrate this day, which is
Yeah.
really kind of cool. So I'm excited for that.
I am looking forward to the stories. Have you thought about going full Mary Antoinette and doing like fake stitches on your neck so it looks like you sewed your head back on to come and celebrate in Mardi Gras?
Well, I am going to be wearing a choker that I'm going to make. So
Smart.
if anyone asks, it's covering
The
the
stitches.
stitches. Speaking of New Orleans and the Super Bowl is happening there in less than a week. Bill, are you going to watch? Do you care? Who's doing halftime? I have no idea.
I don't care. I will watch because I'm compelled to, as is most of the populace. What is it? Kendall Lamar. This shows you how in tune I am with the hip hop kids. Kendall Lamar.
Kendra Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick. Oh, between the two
Wow.
of us.
Wow,
got there.
wow. I mean, you're a millennial. You have no excuse.
I know.
He's doing it. I'm sure there'll be, as per usual, a lot of surprise cameos, but he is doing the halftime. Other than that, I loathe the Eagles and the Chiefs, and I hate them differently. So maybe I should look at that as a positive. Like, they both bring so much to my hate bouquet. For the Eagles, it's mostly the fan base. They're just the worst and most obnoxious fans in football. And for the Chiefs, it's just sort of the whole enchilada. I just hate Big Chief and what it's done to America. I'm sick of their success. I don't want them to get 3 in a row. It's that. Yourself?
Yeah, just because I won't be bartending. I mean, I'm gonna watch.
Right.
But yeah, I I don't know that I would care any year because I don't
Yeah.
have a team.
Yeah.
Bill, did you feel this way when the Patriots were constantly playing or no?
Didn't you?
Again, I was living in my own bubble. I don't.
Hence the costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and again, that's what Brad and I were just going back and forth. Like, did everyone feel this way about us with the Bulls? And by the way, it's so sad that we have to look that far back to think of anything resembling a dynasty as far as Chicago is concerned.
Yeah.
But the Patriots were so easily hateable from Tom Brady on down. Brady was just so perfect and handsome and clearly would bend the rules when he had to, and the refs were all for it. And then Belichick was just this surly prick who would give the press nothing on his press conferences and just monosyllabic answers to stuff and just so hateable. And also quite the cheater. The entire team just bothered me. I mean, they had a murderer as a cornerback, so there you go. But allegedly, I don't think it's alleged. He's dead now. But yeah, I hate the Patriots much more than the Chiefs or the Eagles. Put it that way.
You know what was interesting, and I don't know if this has happened before, but when we were watching the championships, we saw a commercial and the Chiefs coach was in it. Do we
Sure.
often see the coaches in commercials? Like,
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
you might some of the complaints from the '85 Bears that you saw Mike Dick on too many commercials, rather than doing his job. But yeah, sure. I mean, if the coach has even a semblance of a personality, which Reed does, they'll get the gigs. I don't recall Belichick in too many, but that's because he sucks.
Yeah. Doesn't really have the personality for
Yeah, you do need a little more than X's
selling
and O's.
product.
Yes.
No, it'll be interesting to be watching the commercials this time. You know, every year Douglas will audition. I auditioned for one this year to see who they ended up casting in the stuff you didn't book.
Yes.
And to be like, well, they're making money right now. They're making money right now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Douglas it went over a couple of years. He was in a Super Bowl ad for Budweiser, right?
I don't know if it was Super Bowl or a championship game, but yeah, he was in a Bud. It might have been Bud Light.
I mean, that must have paid the bills for a bit.
Not as much as the Discover card one. But yeah,
God,
it all depends on the contract and for how long it's televised. Sometimes the Super Bowl commercials won't get airplay for years to come because they're specialized, but who knows?
Well, how's this for a sec? You know what? The only thing that people are going to be doing more than watching commercials, flushing some toilets.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's face it, it's a holiday where people consume a lot, they drink a lot, and hopefully the nation won't accidentally flush their toilets at the same time because there's some sort of urban myth that will blow up our entire sewer system.
Wait,
But anyway,
really?
yeah. Well, how does it relate to doing that in a hardware store? See what I did there?
Sure. Or I would say, hey, the day after eating all that buffalo chicken dip, don't go to Home Depot. Because apparently shoppers feel the urge to poop in hardware stores. Guess who found this story? Me.
Why even ask to guess?
Although they interviewed Australian people for this, and as we know, their toilets flush in the opposite direction.
Very true.
But a Melbourne man recently took to social media to ask why the Australian hardware chain Bunnings had a similar effect as the strongest laxative on his bowel movements. A medical practitioner named Dr. Zach Turner said the curious occurrence highlights the profound and occasionally inconvenient relationship between the brain and the gut. Scientists say that things like certain smells, physical exercise, stress, and lighting can trigger the gut into having an immediate reaction, all of which can be activated during a trip to the hardware store. These smells and stimuli can stimulate the vagus nerve, kicking digestion into gear and creating that all too familiar urgency. It's also a place where new projects come to life. So whether it's excitement or low-level stress, the gut-brain connection might respond with an urgent timeout request. Now, it's not just the customers. Apparently, employees of this hardware store are like, I always got to go before my shift. There's something about it. But
Interesting.
it just shows how complex our bodies are.
Joe has to ask, what triggers a magical dump as far as you are concerned? Is there a place you go and it's immediately, that's your laxative? A commercial, certain Wober sauce?
Yeah. For me, I need to feel nervous. So, like, if let's say I haven't gone in a few days,
That'll make you
sometimes
nervous.
I'll say to Douglas, I'll be like, say something that makes me nervous. And he'll be like, I'm pregnant. But no, like before auditions, especially,
Okay.
gosh, if it's like if I have a Zoom call, because I don't have many. So when I do, I'm always like, how is this going to go? Is it like, what's going to happen? How long am I on it? What's going to be asked? I get nervous, and like 2 minutes before it starts, I'll be like, I gotta poo.
I was about to say, please tell me you've been forced to have one of those Zoom meetings while on the can. Oh, that would be spectacular.
No, you would really have to time the mute button well.
Yeah, no, meetings for sure. I can get that. Yeah. But yeah, that's interesting. But nothing concrete, not like a physical thing that you go to, like a hardware store.
No. Also because I don't know that I have ever made the correlation between the two. I don't go to hardware stores enough to know if it will have that effect on me every time. You know what I mean?
Right. Actually, that makes sense.
But man, I do love the smell of a Home Depot.
I thought you were going to say your own shit.
Of a wood shop, the wood aisles.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's got to be
in
part of it, by the way. There's a
maybe.
sense memory there when you get the smells. Also, for
Yeah.
me, if I think about the distance between A and B, if I'm walking somewhere in New York, that's a trigger right there. Because
Oh,
even if I don't even remotely have to go, I'd be like, boy, it'd be rough if I had to have to take a dump in the middle of this walk. And then, sure enough, that'll get me every time. Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's
But I know where
interesting
all the public bathrooms are.
what they said about the like a low stress sort of scenario, right? It's like the fight or flight. Your body's like, up, you got to prepare for this thing that's happening.
Yeah.
You don't need your digestive system right now. You might have to run. So let's just stop all function. And then you're like, well, now I got to poo.
Yeah, and also I blame you because I never even thought about this. And I know you were the one that put this in the head, but the whole constipation after traveling thing that has
Mhm.
happened to me since you first told your story. And this week is a good example.
Yeah.
Things are okay now, but yeah, it was rough. It was rough going at the beginning. And it's completely your fault. You put that little germ of an idea in my brain, and then it's come to fruition.
Yeah. I think it happens to a lot of people.
And altitude's a weird thing. Everything's funnier, tastes weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we were talking about the Bloody Mary fact.
Yeah. And well, I have a girlfriend who is a flight attendant. She's been doing it for about a year now. And I have not asked her about her poops. I really should.
Please
'Cause
do.
I am curious when you are traveling that much. Like it's not natural to be up in the air for that long. So, yeah, what goes on?
I'll tell you
It's
what, man, she'd
curious.
be a good guest. We should get people with interesting professions that we could just sort of quiz the hell out of if she was down for it. I mean, and also I ask her about her poops,
Yeah, I mean, I think she might be.
especially as far as travel hacks are concerned. Because I've always, Lauren's about buttering up flight attendants with little gifts. Usually, if they're of the area, like Reese's candies, where that's where she got some, and she'll get upgraded. If the flight's full, we'll get her a bottle of champagne. Like for whatever reason, they all just appreciate even the smallest acts of kindness. It
Um,
goes a long way.
Actually, this is one thing that my friend did say. If you're going to get the flight attendants anything, like some singles, some dollar bills for all of the flight attendants, because they get free transportation once they land to their hotels, but they're supposed to tip the van driver. And so often
There
they
you
don't
go.
have singles. So she said, if you're on a flight and you give the flight attendant some singles, you will likely get free drinks for like the rest of the flight.
Interesting.
Because then they don't have to like go to an ATM or like pay somebody back or whatever, because they're going to need those singles.
That's awesome. That is really great. Oh God, I'm going to try that when going home.
Yeah, you should.
You guys just go on Bowery Boys walks for all manner of February dates.
When is your next one? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, but mine's Turtle Bay. The Turtle Bay tours on their site. So It's easy enough to find, guys. Check it out. The weather won't be like this, but it's been getting better lately. February can't possibly be as bad as January. Joe, shall I release the graphics?
Oh gosh, one of the films I just watched that was so good was the film Sing Sing. And it was about the, like, I don't know what you want to call it, theater club, a real story about the club that would put on productions in Sing Sing. And the performances were so great. I don't want to spoil anything, but there are real incarcerated people in this film. They're no longer incarcerated,
right?
But they're not like actors by trade. They spent time behind bars, and the performances are just so good. It's so good. So I highly recommend that.
I'll take that 10 times over The Brutalist.
Yes.
And he wasn't a real person, people. I'm still angry.
Yeah. And once again, Wober's Mustard for all of your mustard needs and condiments and merch. Thank you to the Wober family for this delicious supply.
You guys are the best, and I'm very jealous of my co-host.
Well, I'm giving you half.
You don't have to give me half.
Okay, I'll give you
just
some.
Take whatever you want. No, you've earned it.
All right, bye, y'all. Have a good one.
Oh, I'm sure glad that's over.
That's all for this episode of Mornin with Bill and Joanne.
I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts.
Shut up, Bill.
Subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts.
Yeah, I wasn't listening either.
Very nice, Joanne. Touché.
For videos of this and other episodes, go to @MorninBillAndJoe on YouTube.
Bill, put the sword down.
Run, Joanne, run!
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would do it for you. Okay, that's a lie.
I never liked your show. Sorry, wasn't listening. See ya.